What's on Tap Today, presented by Miller Lite.
Pardon my stupidity, but I'm Patrick Kane, and it's President's Day, a day when we reflect and celebrate our history of the many presidents that came before us, even though it's really just combining George Washington and Abraham Lincoln's birthdays into one cute little day, so they basically get all the hype. Did you ever wonder why all of our money only has presidents on it, with the exception of the $100 bill that's Ben Franklin's. A little bit bizarre, but anyway, let's try and jump back into things, and hopefully I remember how to do all of this on the show. So let's give it a shot, and let's begin. Welcome to PMS Boys and Girls. It's Monday, February 20th, 2023, and we haven't done this show since Veterans Day, so many things have happened in that time frame since we were last together. The NFL season has ended. People think Damar Hamlin was replaced with a fake version of himself because he basically died on the field, and that the NFL is basically all scripted like the WWE. We're shooting balloons out of the sky, worried about Chinese spies. An asteroid came extremely close to Earth that we all nearly died. Only kind of, sort of, but not really. Cocaine Bear is an actual movie in theaters right now. Jeremy Renner, who has no superpowers like he does as Hawkeye, we learned that when he had an accident with his snowblower. Some author faked her own death after 2 years to boost her book sales, and then magically just decided to come back to life. And I still have not won a $1 billion jackpot through Powerball or Mega Millions. That being said, on today's show, we will be discussing the future of Aaron Rodgers, the new head coaching hires across the NFL, and in the MLB, pitchers and catchers have reported. But first things first, let me welcome my guest back to the show after a long hiatus. How much I know you miss it. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Booch. Welcome to the show, pal. Wait.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Ooh, why do you sound so different now?
The sound doesn't sound that great on my end.
Sound doesn't sound what?
It doesn't sound great. It sounds horrible. Yeah.
Let's see what I am missing here. Of course, like, it's without fail. Without fail, it's always the same thing. I tell you. Now we got all the headaches and the problems. Let's see here. I tell you. And let's hear you talk now.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
All right, now you sound better on my end, so hopefully...
Yeah.
Well, where'd you go? There you are. So I guess I got to leave that open, and we'll just continue on with the show as we can. Did you freeze on me? Oh, no, there you are.
No, I'm here.
Okay. So, let's...
Try to turn up the volume.
Oh, got it. So let's get into some things as we begin. But as I said, on today's show, we will begin with the recapping of Super Bowl 57. After a long and fun season, it came down to the AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And because the NFL is allegedly fake, and the storyline had to be these two teams, because it puts Andy Reid's former team against his current team, pitting the Kelsey brothers against one another, Jason and Travis, as well as having the Jalen Hurts face off against Patrick Mahomes, and becoming the first two starting black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is also the reigning MVP of the NFL, and Jalen Hurts was the runner-up. Both the Chiefs and the Eagles have the same amount of wins and losses. Yards basically evenly match up going into the game. So what happened? Andy Reid and an injured Patrick Mahomes just got it done. Like, not only were the Chiefs trailing 24-14 at half, but Mahomes was clearly injured on the final snap of the first half. He appeared to re-injured the bad ankle. He walked off the field with a serious limp and was in obvious pain. The Eagles had possession longer. They had more total yards, basically had this game won, but had no response for the second half. While the Chiefs had stormed back to acquire an 8-point lead, Jalen Hurts created a 75-yard touchdown drive of his own, which was aided by a 45-yard catch from Devontae Smith. Hurts ran in the touchdown himself, then pulled off the ensuing 2-point conversion. That was plus 1,500 if you'd betted it. Now the game was being tied at 35 apiece. Mahomes took over the offense, would get the Chiefs inside the red zone in under 3 minutes remaining of the game. Facing a 3rd and 8, Mahomes attempted a pass to Juju Smith-Schuster in the left corner of the end zone, but the ball was overthrown. However, it's under great scrutiny that everybody's aware that there was a flag thrown on the field. James Bradbury was called for holding, which gave the Chiefs a first down. And as ticky-tack as it was at that point in the game, I nevertheless will not make excuses for the defense, even though they looked flat and couldn't bring pressure as often as we were used to this current season. some of Kansas City's plays to trick and confuse our defense. We got outplayed by the Chiefs and ourselves. So, Booch, my question to you is, how you feeling a week removed from the
It's
Super Bowl?
still the most heartbreaking Super Bowl, most heartbreaking loss ever in sports for me. I'm still not over it. I'm still not watching ESPN. This is the most talk I've done about the Eagles.
I hear
Since
you.
the Super Bowl. It's still hurting me completely. Jalen Hurts, they wondered how Jalen Hurts was going to be on the big stage, and he did everything he could. He was the MVP of that game. Defense gave up. Defense let down. We had 0 sacks. The team that had the third most, fourth most sacks of all time had 0 sacks against a hurt Patrick Mahomes. You can't win games. I don't care what happens with that holding call. I shouldn't even come down to that. We gave them 2 easy touchdowns that middle school coaches couldn't stop, like myself. It was. I don't know when I'm going to actually get over this loss, if I ever will.
Well, that's understandable, and I feel bad for bringing it up, but it's a week removed. I wanted to jump back into it because new year, new season, who dis? Let's give it a shot. I figured maybe this would be a little bit more lethargic to try and, I guess just like obviously break things down and try and move forward, and maybe the hurt would hurt a little less. But
The therapy session.
yeah, like a little therapy session,
Yeah.
Can't hurt to
I
try.
drink stuff in this therapy session, or do I just keep on drinking through it?
Oh, you absolutely keep drinking through it. I would be drinking too, but I have to pick up my son from daycare in a little while.
I don't pick up little Johnny, imaginary Johnny today, so good.
Okay. So we'll shift gears here a little bit, and we'll go to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, because they seem to be the new modern era duo of coach and player, mirroring that of Bill Belichick and Brady. So is it too soon to speak the word dynasty into existence? Now hold on. Now, with that being said, because I know you're gonna I know everybody's gonna have the same thing. Andy Reid, with him at the helm of the Kansas City Chiefs, they have now won 2 of their last 3 Super Bowl appearances, made 5 straight AFC Championship games. Keeping that in mind, Brady and Belichick achieved a remarkable 6-3 record in Super Bowls between 2001 through 2018. That the Patriots dynasty began with 3 rings in 4 years, then followed by a 9-year gap, which included the 2 upsets to the Giants before they won 3 more to reach a total of 6. So, dynasty?
Belichick and Brady, Walsh and Montana, all the Holmgren and Brett Favre, is those guys, they were young coaches with young quarterbacks. You're talking about a young quarterback with an old coach who might be out in a year or 2. I don't even know if he's coming back next year.
I mean, he said he's coming back. He said he's not
I've got
done.
to see how much longer he stays. We're not talking McNabb and Andy Reid when Andy Reid was a young 40-year-old. We're talking Andy Reid, 60-year-old coach at this point. So I don't know how much longer he'll stick around to even call it a dynasty at this point.
Now, here's another thought. If you do hold on to the idea that potentially a dynasty exists here, or the makings of one, there are a lot of similarities between the two to keep in mind, such as with Belichick in his tenure. Under all of his scrutiny as a coach, he had to face off against people like Dungy, Peyton, Carroll, Tomlin, Coughlin, whereas Andy Reid, who has faced off of those guys as an Eagles head coach, he's now, as a Chiefs, going against McVay, Taylor, Shanahan, Dable. And then the likes of quarterbacks, obviously you have the great Tom Brady going against Peyton and Roethlisberger and Breeze and Eli. Whereas now you have Patrick Mahomes facing off against Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, your boy Burrow, and even Justin Herbert if he starts to step up, just to name a few.
Throw Lamar Jackson in that mix.
Well,
He's not get a big contract.
Well, like I said, just to name a few, because I would throw in Lamar Jackson, but I will be bringing him up later in the show because there's a lot of question marks around his name as to what he's going to be doing and where he's going to be doing it. But my question is, as far as a dynasty, now, as my opinion, I stand by thinking it might be too soon, but it's not worth keeping in the back of your mind because,
it's a great team doing great things right now. I don't know if they're going to get to dynasty mode. They're enjoying the run.
Okay.
I don't know how much more Andy Reid wants to stick around and make it a dynasty.
You don't think he's got it? Because I think Patrick Mahomes is signed through 2031.
He's up there.
He's there for like his whole career.
Yeah, Andy Reid's gonna. I think Andy Reid maybe one more year, one or two more years. I think he's done.
Okay.
So I don't think it's gonna get to dynasty mode.
Okay.
Nice run though. Nice run for those guys, but not dynasty. Not Belichick, Brady.
All right, so this brings me to my next point, which sticks with this and is always looking towards the future, and that would be what is next? What's going to happen next season? What's that going to hold for the Chiefs and the Eagles? And my main question is, which team is more likely to make it back to the Super Bowl? And I'm going to let you begin by answering yours, and then I'll give you my rebuttal.
It's so tough to say because football is such a parity sport. You never know what's going to happen year to year. But Eagles have a ton of free agents. That whole defense is pretty much up for free agency. We got to see who we're bringing back. I think the Chiefs are built better to come back next year as of right now than the Eagles. I got to see how these new coordinators are going to do. I got to see who we bring back defensively. Jalen Hurts coming off that Super Bowl hangover. Who knows? Who knows Miles Sanders if he's coming back? Yeah, there's a lot of question marks this offseason that got to be addressed first.
Okay, so my rebuttal to that is I think with very similar to what you're saying, I think with the potential loss of some of our players due to free agency, also losing our defensive coordinator and our offensive coordinator, I think that will make things pretty tough for the Eagles. However, I still say that the Eagles are probably the safer bet out of the two and have the better chance to make it back to the Super Bowl.
And I think the NFC East is tougher than the AFC West.
Well, see, you're going based off of
divisions.
You
get into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you're going based off divisions. I'm going against conference because my reasons will probably draw some people calling bullshit of my answer, but that's fine because the way I view it is in the NFC, Brady's already retired. So he's one less person you have to worry about.
Last year.
And then you have to worry about what Rodgers is going to do, whether he's going to come back and play another season or if he's going to walk off into the sunset. Now, if he does continue playing, my personal opinion, I'm assuming it's not going to be for the Packers, and I would imagine most likely he goes into the AFC, whereas all the rumors are spinning about the Jets. So really, in my opinion, the only threatening team with a quarterback that we need to worry about is, I believe, to be the 49ers. And currently, they don't even seem to have a grasp on who their starting quarterback should be based off of all the injuries that they have between the three.
Yeah, they got Garoppolo, Purdy, and Trey Lance. They don't know where they're going next year.
Right, and I would imagine Trey Lance is their guy, but they also said that Purdy was their guy as the season was continuing.
I think they like to Brock Purdy.
And I think Mahomes and the Chiefs have a stacked and tough AFC because they have to go against the quarterback cores. Not saying that they can't make it to another AFC championship or even the Super Bowl, but it just feels like the odds, from where I'm standing, it just seems like it's not in their favor due to teams like the Bengals, the Bills, the Chargers, Ravens, and even Miami. Miami looked good in the first half of the past season. So if they can keep it going, anything could happen.
If we played first halves, it would be a Super Bowl team. We would win a Super Bowl if we played first halves.
I love how this is just turning into the next topic because that brings me to in the aftermath of the Super Bowl. So in the aftermath of the Super Bowl, in the aftermath of Super Bowl 57, namely on Valentine's Day, Juju Smith-Schuster took to social media by sharing a meme poking fun of James Bradbury and for the holding call that he was flagged for. Now, this tweet caught a lot of negative responses from fans and players alike, but mainly a lot of the things that we all saw as Eagles fans were from players such as A.J. Brown, who was tweeting, quote, "First off, congratulations, y'all deserve it. This is lame. You was on the way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career on your one-year deal, TikTok boy. He admitted that he grabbed you, but don't act like you're like that or ever was. But congratulations again," end quote. This was just one of the many, many tweets responding to Schuster for being a poor winner and making this moment very classless, even though he may have thought it to be a funny moment. Now, I bring this up because this tweet also comes a few days, if not weeks, after the Eagles beat up on the 49ers to advance to the Super Bowl. And it was a nonstop social media, TV, any platform that the 49ers were given or had, they refused to accept the defeat. They gave multiple reasons on how or why they should have won. So my question becomes, what happened to sportsmanship in football or in sports in general when it comes to 2023?
It's the generation right there. They're a bunch of bitches. You want to see freaking Dan Marino or Brett Favre do like, let's go to Twitter, let's go to TikTok, let's do this. They get their shit done on the field. That's where they get their wars done. These people, oh, let's have a Twitter war. I sound like an old man tweeter. But yes, no, these are just a bunch of bitches. Like, think of millennials, beginning of the Gen Z's coming up now, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Well, you bring up a good point, and we will circle back to the Gen Z because that ties into something in a few topics down the line here. But I think one of the things is, like, obviously the whole point is childish. Now, depending on who you are as a fan base, obviously for Eagle fan base, we're going to sit there and be like, dude, you're a dickhead. Like, just take you got your win, take it and go. But at the same time, if you're
I'm not defending Juju even a little bit. In his defense, that was circulating hours before he even said this, because I think I threw that in our group chat hours before Juju even did.
Right. No, I know.
All those little Valentine things going around.
And that's the thing. The internet, social media will always have those little memes and all those little things, and whatever the case may be, doesn't give him the exception to think, hey, you know what? This is funny. It's like, look, you had your parade, you got your cherry. What?
He might have been drunk celebrating the Super Bowl still. You don't know.
I'm just saying.
They post this shit when they're drunk.
Okay, then that's fine. You can make the argument. It's like, okay, maybe he was drunk, maybe it was this. It doesn't justify it. It just makes it look classless. And like you said, it's the new generation of fans and players coming up. I just also think, like, and not just focusing on Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't want to focus just on him. It's the 49ers as well. Talking about boycotting the Super Bowl. We would have won if our quarterbacks weren't injured.
I had a lot of respect for. He's a bitch. He's on the bitch list. You've been added.
Everybody, you're just sitting back, enjoying your cocktails, and everybody's a bitch today. I like it. Okay, well then let's shift gears here. Mail time. It's mail time, boys and girls. Let's read your letters and see what questions you've sent in for us to answer. So, now remember how this works there, Booch.
You got your mailbox?
Yeah, I got my mailbox, but just remember how this works. Like, it's good acting, you know? All right. Will Aaron Rodgers return to play next season, or will he hang it up with Brady? Your thoughts?
He's going to the Jets. He's pulling the Brett Favre. He's going to the Jets. He'll play there for 2 years, and he'll end up with the Vikings like that in his career.
To the Jets. Okay, obviously that's been the ongoing rumor mill that's been
happening.
He's
not coming back.
I think a lot of the things swirling around when it comes to Aaron Rodgers at this moment, I believe it was late last week, he announced on Pat McAfee, and then it was on different social platforms that he was going into some, like, dark hiding retreat or something where there's, like, no light, and he's going to think about his thoughts and figure out. I don't know. To each their own. He's very like hippie-ish to me in the last, like, I don't know, 6-7 years, or give or take. And
it's kind of weird.
And I don't know. I don't know why you need to have an excuse that you're gonna.
Somebody doesn't shower anymore.
It's like I need to do this. I need to do that before I can. People just want to know: are you going to play or are you not going to play? And then you're going to sit there and say you're getting annoyed by all the questions. It's like, yeah, but you're avoiding all the answers. You can just flat out say, I'm not making a decision until the NFL draft. I'm not making a decision until NBA All-Star break. You could just pick a day, and then from the end of the season until that day, you're going to have people going, oh, well, I'd like to know, but he already said he's not going to he's not giving us an answer. That being said, he goes into this dark hole in the middle of wherever the hell he is. He's going to emerge like Punxsutawney Phil on Groundhog's Day. Saw my shadow, going to play another season of football.
Yeah, he'll be back.
But the question does remain, because you got Nathaniel Hackett, who allegedly is his boy, and that's a big tie-in for the Jets. Jets have flat out said, put the, put the line put your dots together, put them in a line. It's like, because I think they can't actually say that they're going all in for him, because I think that has to do with tampering.
So I think that's March 14th or something, or
Yeah.
the second week of March.
But it seems like they're all in. But then the other question remains: you still have the Raiders that are looking for somebody. Technically, Tampa Bay is looking for somebody. Quite honestly, I think Dallas should probably look for somebody.
Dak's staying there.
I'm just saying.
Derek Carr might go to Tampa Bay. That's where I see him going.
I also think another reason he's going to come back is because he doesn't want to retire now with Brady, and then that way, when they both become first ballot Hall of Famers, he doesn't get to showcase or be like the top billed guy. I think that's another factor. Even though that probably won't be said, that's my thing.
Right.
All right, let's move on to another question. Oh, here you go. This is up your alley. After losing Kyrie and Kevin Durant, are the Nets now supposed to rebuild around Ben Simmons, or do they just blow up the team and accept the fact that they messed up with this whole super team?
They're blowing up. They're trading Simmons at the end of the season. I think they already came out and said that they're shopping Simmons. They fucked up. They done wrong. Time to blow it up. Which is weird they're blowing up because they were the 5th seed.
Yeah.
At one point. Before they traded everybody.
I just think it was
At one point they won 15 games in a row. It was a weird time to blow shit up, but whatever.
I just thought it was weird, like, obviously because of the world that we live in when it comes to the NBA, with, however many years ago it was now with LeBron going to Miami and creating like that big super team. And then every year it's been like, oh, here's the next super team. Here's the next team that we're going to pay to win a championship. And we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it just seemed to me like you guys went all in with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. And it's like, that's not bad on paper, but then you like completely neglected to remember that Kyrie is a guy that's kind of selfish. And then, I mean, nobody could have predicted the pandemic happening, but he doesn't get vaccinated, so he doesn't play an entire season because not allowed to travel. There were just so many factors that were going against Brooklyn in this whole situation. And then, I don't want to say it's the last straw, but you get rid of Harden, trade him to the Sixers, they take over Ben Simmons. Simmons like, oh yeah, we're gonna be scary. First off, bitch, you need to be able to play the game. Right now, you don't look like you are interested and haven't been interested in playing basketball in a long time.
He has not looked interested in a long time.
So then you lose Kyrie, you lose Kevin Durant, and now you're stuck with him. Obviously, you're saying they're looking to trade him or whatever, but what's his trade value? What's his trade stock in that end? Like,
I don't think very much at this point.
Yeah, to me that just seems. Yeah, it just seems like. I don't know. I would hate to be a fan of theirs at the moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's me. But we'll move on. Let's see, we get the timer going. Yes. There have and will continue to be significant coaching hires through the NFL, but notably are the head coaching hires that are getting a shot for the first time or coming out of retirement with something to prove, or just making a lateral move from a disappointing season. So, Booch, I just got an alert that our Zoom meeting is going to end in 10 minutes, so we'll try and rock it through these real quick. I think we'll be okay.
I'll be right around that area.
I think we'll be okay. So you got D'Amico Ryans, who went to Houston. The coveted Sean Payton left the booth and landed in Denver. Frank Reich turned back up and is now with the Panthers. And Jonathan Gannon will now have to fix the morale, whatever is going on in Arizona. And Shane Steichen is now the head coach of the Colts. On paper, all of these seem like great additions for their respective organizations, but my question is, which team made the best move, and who in your mind gets the official A+ of the offseason hire?
Gotta look at Sean Payton right there. I mean, he is the coveted coach. He's going to Russell Wilson in the third round because he can't be better or worse than Hackett was with Russell Wilson last year. I love D'Amico Ryans. I think him going back to Houston where he started his career is fantastic. Then Frank Reich. Frank Reich was Carolina's first quarterback ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Now he's going back to coach there. You know what? All of these coaches have. All these coaches were one time with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Correct. That was another reason.
Or a coach.
Another reason I wanted to bring it up is because they're all from the Philadelphia Eagles tree.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, I think the A+ goes to Houston Texans because they have nowhere to really go. Like, I feel like they've already hit rock bottom. I feel like they can't go any worse. Sean Payton, I think, is a great addition. However, I also think it's possible that he could be dated.
I don't think so. He's only been out a year. He'll be fine.
Just
He'll be
saying
great.
it's possible because he's been removed for a decent amount of time. He could be dated. We'll have to see. Plus, there's other issues in Denver that he would have to straighten out. And I also heard that Rex Ryan.
Defense. They just got to straighten out the offense.
And
Defense is there.
I also heard that Rex Ryan could potentially become their offensive coordinator.
It matters how much feet they will fail.
I'm just saying, like, so now you're gonna have two coaches on the team coming out of retirement or whatever. I don't know. That's that. As far as the Cardinals and the Colts, to me that just seems like a dumpster fire on both ends because
Steichen is a great coach. I think Steichen might be the best head coach out of the bunch in the long run.
well, he'll have to figure out the situations with Jim Irsay trying to figure out who their starting quarterback is because their issue is they keep
It took less money to become the head coach
true.
than to be our defensive coordinator.
True.
That's crazy.
I just think you have a lot more issues with Steichen with Irsay and Gannon with Kyler Murray. Now I could be wrong, but we'll see how it pans out. Like, what do I know? I'm just some guy on a video podcast.
Yes.
So we'll switch gears here again, and we'll go into Major League Baseball because who doesn't love it? Pitchers and catchers have reported as we are 37 days away from MLB's opening day. That being said, many months ago, I reported on the rule changes that would be going into effect this season, and now the time is here where it needs to be addressed and a bit more in depth so that the league is set to introduce the pitch timer,
Let's go Phillies.
restrict defensive positioning, and install larger bases as means of improving pace of play, and in theory, adding more action to the game by re-incentivizing contact and speed. The pitch timer will be the most omnipresent of the new features. Essentially, pitchers will have to begin their deliveries within 15 seconds with the bases empty, and within 20 seconds with at least one runner on base. Time violations will result in an automatic ball. Pitchers are allowed to disengage just twice during any given plate appearances, which will also include stepping off the rubber or even attempting to pick off a base runner. Now, also, one of the things that fell under the radar for me was that hitters also have timer-related rules as well. They have to be in the box to alert the pitcher with at least 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Now, they're allowed just one timeout per plate appearance. If batters violate either aspect, they'll be charged with an automatic strike. The new defensive positioning rules, which is basically to do away with the shift, teams must have 4 infielders within the infielder boundary whenever the pitcher is on the rubber, with 2 fielders stationed on either side of the second base bag at the time of the pitch. Teams are still allowed to bring in an outfielder here and there and do whatever needs to be done. However, they're not allowed to. They are allowed to employ a 4th outfielder alignment. Positioning violations, though, will result in the opposing team's choice of an automatic ball or result of the play. And as for the bases, they'll be measured at 18 square inches instead of 15 square inches. Now, on this show's official Instagram and Facebook pages, the other day I shared a picture of my pizza box for my delivery for dinner the other night, and that my pizza box measured around 16 and a half, just shy of 17 inches, just to show how big these bases are actually going to be. There are 2 possible benefits to the chunkier bags. One is enhanced player safety, since there's more room and availability for fielders on bases to avoid potential collision. Another, perhaps, is likely benefit to proving teams with a greater incentive to attempt to stolen base. So my question is, will this ruin baseball as we know it, or will it revitalize for the younger audiences, such as Gen Z?
I hope it just speeds up the game a little bit because baseball last year was so slow. It's like 4-hour games.
Yep.
I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't know what these rules are going to bring. I'll have to wait and see. I don't know. We'll see. It might be a dumpster fire.
I think it's going to be kind of weird. I think it's going to be kind of problematic. I think it's going to cause some of the old timers, and as well as us that grew up with the old timers, going like, I don't know if I like this.
I'm coming as old timer soon.
I know. I got the gray in the beard. It's there.
I had to shave off all my gray.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I believe the first round of exhibition games begin this weekend. I think all games are to be at least one game played on Saturday by the end of Saturday.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So you're gonna start seeing it. So if you're paying attention to exhibition games or you're paying attention to spring training, I mean, you're gonna have plenty of time to get used to it or whatever. All I know is between the pitch clock and larger bases, like the pitch clock doesn't bother me, but then the fact that there's a hitter clock version to it, I don't know. I think all of that gets messy. The larger bases I think is kind of odd because, like, honestly, we used to play bar league softball. Like, what's next? Adding that orange base, so it's like that's the one that you're supposed to run to. I don't know. It just seems to me that there's a lot of like weird changes and everything that happens along in the whatever they want to change. So we'll go into our final thoughts, where we check what you've been saying during the show in hopes to answer and any of your questions and bring your thoughts to the table. Now, because it is Monday afternoon and not everybody has the day off, I can't imagine there being a whole lot of texts or messages, but there is one, and it is from the producer of the Booch and Pat Show, and that being your sister, Casey Boucher, saying, "I'll never get over it," with 4 crying emojis. I assume that has to do with the loss of the Super Bowl.
Probably.
I think that's fair to say.
Or the Kardashians being cut.
Wait, they're not on TV anymore?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought the question was from our other producer asking what time the VFW's opened.
Nice.
Got that text.
Nice. So let me do one more thing because I kind of missed it. I overshot one. That explains why the issue was there, but that's fine. We just live and we learn, So this is the late show emissions. It's where I quickly throw out a few extra stories that I didn't have time to throw in. We'll do it rapid fire since we're down to probably our last 2 minutes. And then that's all we got, We'll knock it out and go. So this weekend, you had the XFL. They just started their inaugural, or I don't even know what to call it, 3.0 at this point?
3.0 sounds right.
But at this point, they had their, was it 4 games this weekend? 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday?
Yeah.
Are you excited to see how things pan out for...
I watched the first half of the first game. It wasn't bad. I liked it. I got drunk and didn't watch anything yesterday.
I think, once again, because the XFL are the people that created the spot, like, not the spot, whatever, the over-the-head camera on the wire that the NFL uses. The NFL took that from the first initial season of the XFL. So I think they're in the process of creating some new rules that might be worth looking at for the NFL in the future, and that one has to do with the onside kick being a non sequitur and just being gone because they have some plays. Again, as the season goes on, we will discuss it more at length, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. And then, crap, I forget what the other one was. What was the other late show emission? Is what it is. Not going to lose sleep over it. But that's all I got time for today. Booch, thank you for joining. Obviously, we just got kicked out, but he's gone. I am here, almost on time to free up the show. Hopefully, I can do a better job next time we meet. Thank you again to my guest host, Booch, for joining me and keeping up with the lively discussion this afternoon. If you want to join me on PMS the next time, just send me a message and we can try and set something up. Bring your thoughts, bring your topics, bring whatever you want to the table, and we can discuss something and make something work. Make sure you follow PMS on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hit that subscribe alert to be alerted to all of my videos. And you can find the podcast on iTunes. And of course, you can always find it on iHeartRadio. Open up your smart device and say, play Pardon My Stupidity on iHeartRadio. I'll see you clowns next time. Enjoy the afternoon, and I'll see you later.